Darlings, it's me again. Who else? Your damn near 106-year-old Sarsci Royale. I know, I know. Well, early happy birthday to me. Yay. Pop the champs. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, how else do we do it? Right. Exactly. So, we are back again with updating my Life Sardonic Tang series because, well, why shouldn't we be, right? Why should we not be? It's been some time since I updated it, and I think the last one was. And let's see. I think it was about my current messy colleagues and the audits that we have, which are currently still rolling through. I have 2 added to that. I mean, when I did that stream, it was what, 5 audits, and oof, you have 2 more added, and I am looking at about 3 or 4 more added to it before the end of the year. I know exactly, and I have got a ton more new projects, but you know that's for another time. But so let's get into it. Have you ever worked in a clinical patient-facing capacity? And if you have, more power to you. And if you continue to, more power to you. Sarsci was there for some time. Back in the olden days. When Sarsci was like wide-eyed, ingenue, with her wig on. Yes. Honestly, yes, my wig was allowed because, well, it was the emergency room. It wasn't like we were going to have to wear hairnets on our heads. Because again, it's the emergency room. It's not the operating room, which of course Sarsci has also worked at. That's for another time. Yes. But in the emergency room, things are not sterile unless they are the small equipments that come in packs. You know, they're sterile packs, gauze and such things, because they come in like individual sterile packs. But like I said, but I have been talking about updating this Life Sardonic Tang series, which is about work, and then some more work. So let's get to it. So back in the day, when Sarsci was a newbie, working in the ER, such a distant time from now. I was but what, a wee child, so I dreamed of working in the hospital. I did, as a patient-facing clinical worker. I did. I dreamed of becoming a doctor. I really did. And truly helping people through their various ailments. It wasn't born out of like wanting to make money either. I mean, I continue to work with people and have worked with people whose main goal is to make X amount of money from their selected clinical fields. And I won't even say that helping patients feel better is secondary. It's more like fifth down the line for these people. But you know, that's for another time. So anyway, oh, and let me just drop it in here. And people, please, don't yell at me. But just an FYI, darlings, doctors don't make money until they've paid off their gigantic student loans. Okay? I mean, it could be like 500 to 800 to maybe even over $1 million. So don't be fooled by that title. I mean, it looks good next to your name, but That title comes with a whole lot of numbers next to it. That is not in your bank account. A whole lot of numbers you gotta pay back. I'm just saying. So, personal reason aside, obviously wanted to help put a smile on one person, just one person. And if that could be something I could achieve by helping them heal, then that would have been the very best thing for me. That was like my one true reason for wanting to be in a patient-facing capacity type of work. So, and plus, Sarsci's younger days were marked with deathly loss, so I dreamed of how to best help decrease that for others. You know, the feeling, the immensity of that feeling, the gravity of that. And I figured perhaps a doctor would be best. Whoop. What are you thinking? That I am actually a doctor? You'd be wrong, honey. You'd be wrong and wrong and wrong. And then some more wrong. No. Decades and decades later, I did not become one. Did not become a doctor. A joke's on you. I was close, but no cigars. There are like no cigars. No cigars for Sarsci. And you know, smoking is not good for you, so please don't even start now. And if you already are, please be kind to your lungs and, you know, ease off of the smoking. Anywho, back to this. You know, the years have taken Sarsci on a different but similar path. So one of those stops in Sarsci's indomitable journey has been working in the emergency room. Yep. That's right. I'm sure you've seen tons of videos about people's experiences working in the ER. And if you're expecting that kind of video for this one, yeah, you'd be mistaken on that one too. One, I don't know how to splice, dice, restitch videos together or whatever magic happens there. And two, Sarsci's still working in the healthcare system for the government, and she ain't trying to lose her credentials, honey, or her retirement, or anything else, for that matter. No, sir. No, ma'am. Nah, it's not happening. No. I've worked too hard to get into this industry. And yeah, definitely not going to be doing that. Okay, so when I first applied to that position, I actually did not have high hopes I would be hired. I'm not kidding. I was like, Sarsci, you think you'll get in? I mean, don't delude yourself, girlfriend. Since it has been a while since you last donned those scrubs, because after graduation, I actually segged into a different industry previously. I'm not kidding. And altogether, project managing, mergers and acquisitions. Hi, y'all. Waving at ya. Anyway, lo and behold, Sarsci got hired. Went through that extensive background check, and thank goodness it was free, because wow, child, those can get expensive. It's like, you know, if you're applying to multiple positions, it would be a multiple background checks done for each of those departments, and honestly, it is expensive though. So off I went to my first day of orientation, and basically the first day of work. And you know how in the movies or TV shows, when there's like a scene when the new person starts at their new job site, yeah? Yep, that was straight up Sarsci. Or at least what happened to Sarsci. Of course, that silence was short-lived and shattered by the dinging of machines, the ambulance workers wheeling in the patients, the doctors power walking from one patient room to another, the nurses behind them, well, sometimes, and all the other staff going about their routines. And then I was like, Sarsci, you home, girl. You home. You know, it's the mills, like the emergency room. And if you've ever been in one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then I said to myself, oh, this is it, girl.
Well, sometimes.
Inhale, exhale, make the best of it. And don't forget to be kind. Even when a patient has thrown like whatever they can get their hands on is not already secured to that wall via heavy duty screws. Okay. And yes, that did happen that same week. Ooh, my gosh. Honestly, I don't know how I kept my head on. I mean, ooh, that patient was like, I don't know, maybe like
Whatever they can get their hands on.
an expert on, what's this now, a frisbee throwing or something? Because, oof, those things were flying about. Like the flying saucers that sometimes, people say are like alien life forms or alien ships. Yeah. Anywho, well, without the light. I'm just saying. I guess that was my welcome party of sorts, huh? I didn't think of it that way then. I guess we should probably consider it as one now. That's TBD on that. I do recall, though, having immediately been confronted by the sheer divide that is the nurses and the nurses in that unit. Like, you've got the group where, like, they've been there so long and continue to perform their duties like they started yesterday as new grads, Like, not a blip, not a time has passed by. Or, like, those have been there some years and never actually wanted to be in a clinical setting, apart for, again, the money that it can bring. Well, I had always heard of nurses clashing with doctors for supremacy in their respective units, in, like, the low, clashing with them in the low to the medium low setting. I mean, they're professionals overall. After all, it's not like we're gonna see them like, taking off the earrings, the wigs, the shoes, fist fighting now. Jeez, they keep it profesh. Snide comment here and there, cutting each other off in front of the patients, that sort of thing. While utilizing medical terminology, mind you, exactly, multitasking all the time. In particular, I can recall this one nurse who actually, for the life of me, while I was there, only wanted to work with one assigned patient per shift, and the shift would be like 12 hours. While utilizing medical terminology, it's like one assigned patient. It's an emergency room. And you could be assigned multiple patients throughout your shift because, again, it's the emergency room. You're not really there to keep a patient overnight or keep a patient for longer than 7 hours, hopefully, unless you're waiting for a bed to open up because they have been admitted into the hospital. No. When people say they're in the emergency room, no, they are not admitted. Admitting means you're actually staying overnight in an inpatient unit. The emergency room is considered outpatient unit because you're supposed to be there, hopefully not really getting stitched up. Maybe, hopefully, it's something minor-ish. But if you are there, like needing a stitch up, then obviously, yes. I'm just saying. Don't want to get into too much detail about that. Hello, people. It's HIPAA. Gotta protect the patient privacy.
Hopefully not.
So anywho,
Maybe, hopefully, it's something minor.
let's see, where was I?
If you are there, like needing a stitch up, then obviously yes.
Stream of consciousness coming back around.
Too much detail.
So that one, nurse who was like particular about how many patients they wanted to have per shift, and that is only one. Like, one is the number that they go with. And they would, like, literally, if they were assigned a patient after their patient had been discharged, oh my gosh, they would be like so close, or not so close, but like have the union called, like they have them on speed dial or something.
One is the number that they go with.
And there have been multiple times while I was there, and this colleague was there, and management had to intervene and try to, like, get them to see the light because, bitch, you ain't here to pick and choose, okay? You are here to help save lives. It's called the emergency room, Bo. Did you forget? Ugh. I mean, if you have, just look around you. Signage are everywhere. You just gotta lift up those eyelids. I'm just saying. Oof, 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 oof. Definitely don't miss that colleague. And then there's the unit clerk who I figured out after I left the ER for a promotion. Yes, darlings. Sarsci's not all that bad, you know. She'll roll up her sleeves, get those nail beds soiled, and soak up all the information she can to move up that proverbial ladder. All with her ever-present snark. Thank you very much. So I recall this unit clerk hating everyone, and I mean everyone, if they were asked to do a task, which could range from calling the pharmacy to follow up on a medication ordered for a patient that has taken 4 hours to fill. Yes, I know. Trust. Or call respiratory technicians for a patient for their breathing treatment, or bring up or down drawn patient fluids to the lab for stat processing. I mean, that unit clerk would roll their eyes and say, "No, I'm busy." Like, huh? Huh? And I have experienced it from them like more than 10 times my first 3 weeks. So I decided never, ever to ask that unit clerk for assistance. Ever again. Ever. Never. Ever. I would do it myself. Because, hey, arguing with them is not worth my time. And it would like decrease even more time that I don't already have. So it's like, girl, I just do it. Sarsci needs to go take a walk anyway. Like, I'd rather argue with the insurance folks, but not the unit clerk. No, that is not to demean that, but it's just like we all have tasks that we have to perform, and going, doing runs for the nursing staff is included in the unit clerk's job description. Anyway, again, never mind that. We all have tasks. Not only that though, but that unit clerk would literally say "fuck off" to your face, like "f off." For the nursing staff is included in. You know what? Now that I think about it, I don't think management ever actually intervened in those instances. Again, never mind that. Oh, I know. Maybe because that unit clerk was literally the nurse manager's offspring. IRL. Period. End of story. Period. And moving on, you might be wondering, how are the other colleagues? Well, they were all multi-layered people, as am I. There were the group of BMW/Mercedes driving, multitasking, multiple job, paying for their cars and their Chanels and their LVs and their Pradas and Salwas. Yes, those kinds of nurses. Not to say no one actually showed up when I was there with an Hermes, which brings me to believe that they haven't yet saved up for that one bag, or they haven't had an opportunity to be sold wine, or both. Or it's nearly mysteriously low availability in stores deters these people from purchasing and showing off their new acquisition. And I actually heard from like more than a handful of them that they would be borrowing from other colleagues in other units to fund their quote unquote wealthy lifestyle. End quote. LMFAO. Literally. I mean, ew. That's embarrassing as hell. Literally. I mean, it's like you're borrowing money from somebody in a different unit, and then what if you walk into them in the halls or something, and then they see you carrying your LV, and they're like, "Oh, is that why you borrowed money from me?" Blah blah blah. It's embarrassing. Embarrassing. So, well, I laugh about it now, but especially when I'm at the grocery store and someone puts their like LV bag on the counter but can't pay for their grocery bill. Like, oh, yeah, honey, you need to stop flaunting because you ain't got the monies, honey. Just saying. Just saying. Like, So, well, I laugh about
Hashtag
that, especially when I'm at
embarrassing.
the grocery store and someone
Well,
puts
that's
their like
neither here nor
big
there now. So,
bag on the counter, but
there's
can't pay
also
for
the
their
group
grocery
where,
bill. Like,
like,
oh,
there's the
yeah,
pissed off at the
honey, here's
world
the
all day,
phone,
every
'cause you
day
ain't got the monies,
group
honey.
of
Just
nurses.
saying.
Or the kind who practically runs off their patients between, hello, my name is, and I'll be your nurse today, so I will now insert an IV into your vein. And zoom, the patient is back in their civilian clothing, off of their hospital gown, and out the door, honey. Out the door. It's like, hello, a road runner just got out of there. And there's also the group that's done the entire staff. Yikes. You know, done the bing bong with each of the staff members except the new hires who just started like an hour ago. And no, darlings, no. Sarsci has never done the bing bong with any of these colleagues. Imagine. Ooh. Z. Grossy. Grossy. Talk about literally swapping salivas and bodily fluids with each other. That's a little incestuous. Ooh, grossy, grossy. Like, these people attend each other's parties and, like, you know, out of work happenings. I, for one, would be incredibly weirded out by that. And y'all would really want to see, like, you know, a full panel STD test on these people. Like, ooh. Yeah. It's like seeing that person that you just dropped it like it's hot on yesterday sitting across from you and is now working on getting into someone else's pants, who coincidentally is someone who is a colleague in the same unit you guys work in. Ew. Embarrassing. Just ew. That is just grossy. Like, ooh. Dude. Dude. It's like saying it's that thought over there. These are professionals, just saying. And lastly, there's the group who signs up for overtime happily. Happily. All caps, underlined, bold. And then shows up for the said overtime like the hospital owes them something. I mean, why do you sign up for overtime when your attitude says otherwise when you show up to do the overtime? Like, don't do it then. The patients always get the brunt of it, you know, the short end of the stick. And of course, so does your colleagues for that shift. But then, again, I think people don't understand that the patients are there because they need your assistance, obviously. So it's like whatever else is going on in your personal life or any other parts of your life would have to be on pause because your immediate responsibility is to those patients. Ugh. I still hate it. I still hate it when I see like colleagues doing that. I will never get over it. It's been over decades. And yeah, it's when they say a lot of the older clinical facing, patient facing clinical staff say, oh, you get desensitized. Oh no, oh no. Sarsci has not ever allowed herself to be. Ever. That's just no. No. No, 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 no. And then, like, you hear from those same people who do like the overtime happily sign up for overtime happily. It's my 6th day, so like I'm hella tired and like I don't really want to have like difficult patients. Like, hello, don't be signing up for overtime, dad. Ew, no one forced you to sign up. Stop that nonsense. Ew. Ugh. Anyway, so that about concludes, you know, my overview of. Wait. I think I forget a group. There is another group. Okay, so there's like this group that's like the kiss ass tell on your mama group. Man, oh man.
These were the worst hall monitors, if ever they were called that. Of course, they each had their actual assignments, but no. Their ass kissing was so prolific that their immediate supervisors giddily looked past those to hear the latest gossip from these hall monitors. I mean, holy hell. The stories that permeated from that unit, ugh. I'm glad to have been done without experience. Just I am. Do I miss it? Working in the ER? Yes, I do. I miss the adrenaline and the ability to assist patients get better. Absolutely. No questions. Is there anything else I miss? Nope. Not a fracking thing after those two things. Grateful for the experience, but I can do without the unnecessary messiness for the rest of my life. Yes, and you know, Sarsci's already 106 next month, so it's been a long, long life. I'm just saying. Just saying. So, anywho, darlings, there's that. There is a short blip on Sarsci's experience working in the ER. And if I happen to put pen to paper again, I may just disclose some other, like, back of house happenings, not patient related, okay? But still things that have maybe tickled people, stories and things like that in the ER. We shall see. Or do like a little back of house guide. No, not so much a guide, but like points to consider when starting S1. Yes, from like different vantage points and stuff. So anyway, there's that. Thank you for listening to me and my Life Sardonic Tang ER edition. Darlings, remember to be kind to each other. Leave some grace for others. And journey in gratitude. With gratitude. Always. Okay. Well, you have a happy, happy Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your night, week, day, whatever it is, the rest of your weekend. Stay fabulous. Throw glitter in today's face. And I shall see you guys all soon.